Blog Talk Radio.
Hello again, my amazing hempsters. Welcome to another hempspirational episode of HempAware Radio. Tyler Hemp here, your hempreneurial host, here to HempAware and hempeducate your hemposphere as usual because it's hemportant. And here we are again with another brief yet powerful educational hemp episode for you. Investing in your education and investing in hemp, I believe, are two essential things that you can be doing for yourself, for our economy, and the planet. And today we have a very special guest, Karen Wilcox with US Hemp Growers Association, to talk with us about what they're doing to support hemp farmers across the country. And they're a brand new organization, but are already making great progress and growing rapidly, which is a great thing. And as hemp farmers are really needing support with education and resources, with supply chain guidance and all sorts of things. So I'm really excited to have Karen on the show today and discuss with you what they're doing to help empower the hemp industry. So thank you so much, Karen. I really appreciate your presence and being on HempAware Radio.
Well, I'm delighted to be with you today, Tyler. It's very fun to have a chance to talk with you and to greet all your listeners and to talk about hemp. I'm not sure I could ever say hemp as many times as you did in the intro, but it was terrific.
Yeah, we know what to put emphasis on around here. So
that's great.
Tell us a little bit about your background and where you come from in terms of your career, your education, and what led you to the hemp industry and inspired you to get so involved and ultimately form the US Hemp Growers Association.
Well, I consider myself very fortunate that I've spent almost my entire career in the food and agriculture area, even though I didn't start off to do that. My grandfather and my great-grandfather were farmers, but after that we were small business people and professionals in my family. And I have a degree in history, not in ag, but a very long time ago, I happened to go to work in Europe for Nestle, and that was a short gig. But when I came home to the United States, and I was in central Pennsylvania for various family reasons, and Hershey was looking for someone to start their government relations program, and I got that job, and in part because I had worked for Nestle at one point. So I built the government relations function at Hershey for many years, and eventually, and I was working in states and here in Washington and even overseas because, of course, Hershey's an international company. And then after quite some time, I moved here to Washington, and I was in the Clinton administration where I was Deputy Undersecretary for Food Safety. I had done a lot of food safety work with Hershey. And so I was fortunate to help set up the food safety system for the meat and poultry industry. And along the way, I've also been the head of the Organic Trade Association at one time, and I then went back to agriculture during the Obama administration when I worked for the Undersecretary for Research, Education, and Economics. And so all through that time, well, not all through that time, but since about the beginning of the teens of the 21st century, I was interested in hemp as a plant, and I realized how many things could come from hemp, and I encouraged hemp people to talk to us at USDA, even though it was not entirely, legal. But after the 2014 bill, we were approached about trying to help get seed into the country to let researchers at universities use it to find out how to grow the plant and so on. So I worked a little bit on that, and I have a number of friends who have been very, very deeply involved with hemp. So 2018, when 2018 we got to that, and they, not I was not lobbying the bill, but I was very interested in the bill, and they got it passed, and a group of us were talking about the fact that we wanted to be sure that growers got a good advantage out of this new crop, that it shouldn't, that obviously processors and retailers, wholesalers need to sell the crop, but we wanted to be sure that growers had a good seat at the table, and we began talking about forming the US Hemp Growers as a national organization. There are good state and regional organizations that are helping in their states and who had to be strong to get to the first stages of legalization, and we're working with some of them, and we expect to work with more of them to build a really strong and hemp farmers united, we'd like to say, a unified voice for America's hemp growers.
Well, you certainly have a very deep breadth of knowledge and experience, and like you were saying, government relations and with Department of Ag, and so that's amazing. I'm sure you have some really valuable skills and expertise to bring to the table. And so I'm wondering, how are you able to use some of your background, your expertise, to implement some of the goals of US Hemp Growers Association, and what are those main goals for the organization?
Well, we are trying to create one voice speaking for hemp growers here in Washington, but where it's helpful in other places as well. And we're also trying to be sure that hemp growers have the materials and the contacts that they need to grow a good crop. We before the COVID outbreak, we were running with the Farm Journal some very good seminars that we called Hemp College, and they were extremely well attended and extremely well organized. Farm Journal is expert at running things like that, and they helped gather experts from all over the country to talk about everything from how much water do you need to how do you acquire seed, what are you looking for in terms of licensing and contracts, and some of the equipment or attachments for equipment that you might need to bring in the harvest. What are some of the issues around all that? What are issues around storage and so on? Because as we know, this is a great plant, but it has its own being
nuances,
and nuances, and it can be sticky, and it's extremely hard, which is a wonderful property, but some people are surprised by that. So it's really a combination of providing as much good information as we can about the plant and about growing it, and information about regulatory developments. We've been informing our members about about USDA's proposed rule, and we commented on that extensively, and we've seen some good changes that they've moved along with, and we're waiting to see what their final rule will be, but we're pleased that they are listening. And we also have been tracking the financial developments related to COVID and whether the industry is going to be eligible, and we're pushing very hard for the industry to be eligible, and believe that we can show that there have been losses related to COVID, and we're hopeful that the department will recognize those also.
Absolutely. So I'm curious, as far as, I wonder what your take is, because there is a lot of talk in the industry of basically rewriting the 2018 Farm Bill to reclassify hemp or to redefine hemp, because currently the legal definition of hemp is any variety of cannabis that contains less than 0.3% THC. And a lot of people are saying there's a lot of fear in the industry. Farmers are afraid to get into it because they don't know if their plants are going to go hot and go above that level. And if they do, what are the consequences? What is your take on that? I know a lot of people are suggesting to bring that up to 1% or increase that percentage. What is your take on that, or how do you see the farmers able to overcome a challenge such as this?
Well, there are two approaches being made in that. First of all, there's research coming out about why the plant goes hot, and Cornell has done some research on that. And, of course, there are some people that are trying to develop a hemp seed that is devoid of THC. I don't know whether that's going to happen or whether that's even a good thing. But they're trying to do that. But my personal feeling is that it will go up to some degree. I think eventually it might go to the 1%. Certainly at 1%, nobody is going to get high on THC, as I understand it. I don't smoke, so I don't smoke anything. So I'm not sure about that, but that's what I've been told. That you're not going to get high on 1%. And as we move to all these other products, the law has been focused so closely on CBD and hemp for human and somewhat for animal consumption. And so all the things that you can do with hemp, like plastics and building materials and fiber and insulation and hempcrete and packaging and cardboard and automobile dashboards and biofuel. I mean, none of those have any issue around 0.3 or 1.
Exactly.
So I do think that there's going to be a gradual change. It could be in the next farm bill. Getting amendments done to the farm bill in the interim period is very difficult. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult. So I think we'll be into 2022 before, if we have a farm bill in 2022. But yes, I think that there'll be a discussion. We need the science to go with that. And,
exactly.
We're working on with scientists. We're fortunate to have one of the most experienced scientists and business people in hemp on our board, and he's been working with the plant for a very long time. So We have some very good people, and we have access to some other very good people in the science. So
that's great.
I think we'll get to that.
Yeah. Well, on that note, mentioning all these different applications as far as, bioplastics and building materials and packaging, hempcrete, all these different applications, particularly these that we just mentioned are utilizing the fiber of the plant. And then, of course, you have all of the seed products. What excites you most about the hemp industry in general, or just, all these different products? What aspect of, this entire supply chain or these different industries and sectors that are being developed, what excites you the most about the hemp industry and about hemp farming in general?
Well, I see a lot of promise already in the hemp food category. Hemp seed, shelled and whole, and the protein powder. I mean, a lot of people have no idea how good a product it is for protein. And as we move toward people that want to avoid who are vegan or vegetarian, I think they're going to possibly use hemp protein more. And I think the animal feed area is being researched right now to get FDA approval, and I think that it will. And that's an exciting idea because being able to feed lots of wonderful animals that could eat it. The textile area, I think, textile and plastics, I think, will start to they're already in use. We know that the Chinese, for instance, have been making textiles and clothing from hemp for, I don't know, millennia maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that could take off here, especially we've heard that some of the companies that are interested in kind of outdoors and natural fabrics, that they're already looking at it or using it as a blend.
Yeah, and, right. Yeah, Patagonia, Prana, even Levi Strauss, Adidas, and yeah,
they're all looking at it.
Exactly. I agree. Yeah, it's just a matter of developing and bringing back the infrastructure that was taken away in terms of the textile manufacturing processes. But I'm very excited about that. That's one of my passions for sure.
But
good.
Kind of,
bringing
one
the
of
topic.
the other things is going to be building materials. I'm pretty sure that I don't know if you've seen this. I've only seen the ads. I haven't seen the actual product, but the flooring that's being made in Kentucky, it's beautiful. Yeah, hemp wood. And I think one of the other areas where we could really take off would be in the whole packaging area. If we can get and I understand that there's at least one large company, I'm not free to name it, but they're looking at packaging material. And if we could get cardboard and transparent plastic or plastic from hemp, think about how much of a sustainable shift that could be. I mean,
there's a
we're
company
not chopping trees down to make the cardboard, and we wouldn't be using petroleum to make the plastic. And so
there's
that's
a few companies
exciting.
that are using like injection mold type applications, and there's one company called BuffaloHempMovement.com, Buffalo Hemp Movement, and they're already producing, trays and pens and different, smaller type products, as well as containers and packaging. So we're definitely making progress there, and I think that's such an essential need to stop polluting our environment with all these, excess plastics going into the oceans and our environment.
Right.
So that is
Right.
very crucial. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as far as your experience in agriculture and, working maybe with other crops, how does hemp compare to other crops or, other sectors in the agricultural world? How does hemp compare to these in terms of the ease of use or educating people, or how are the laws different? Is there a huge difference with hemp? Is it being treated like a drug still, or are they now considering it an agricultural crop, a commodity, and looking at it like they would corn per se? Or do you still feel there's this stigma and it's still a big challenge at the moment?
Well, I'm not sure I would call it a stigma, but it's a misunderstanding because someone asked me the other day about, well, why don't people understand that hemp is different than marijuana, and why don't they know about all these products that could be made? And I said, well, look, we had 70 years when people were told not to even touch the plant, not to grow it, not to use it, and
then it had roots in hell.
Right, and that's a huge hill we have to get over. I think we're starting to get over it. I think a lot of the stigma about cannabis in general is going, and people are understanding more that there may be, like, marijuana is being used to help people who are in
medical
chemotherapy,
purposes,
for instance. Yeah, for medical purposes. So people are beginning to understand that there might be other things, and then as we move, we certainly, we know millions of people have tried CBD. I can't tell you that they still use it, but I know that they have tried it. And in the United States, probably over 50 million people have tried it. And so we are getting acceptance, and now we have to, move along toward quality. We have to move toward a product that is going to be consistent for the consumer. There are a lot of charges being made, and there's now a group that's been formed to say that CBD is not a quality product and that it's being that it needs to be policed, and they actually have policemen on their advisory committee. So, we need to be working on quality standards, on food safety standards, on good practices for the whole processing part and the growing, because we want the product that gets from the grower to the processor to be a quality product that's been raised properly. For instance, we know that hemp is a phytoremediation product. Not all growers actually know that.
Right.
And so they may plant the plant in a place that has had some contamination in it, and they don't understand that the plant has a great uptake and can clean the soil. So we have to be sure that people understand that, but there are uses for that plant after you've cleaned up the soil. You just don't want it used in human consumption.
Right.
And so we need to do a good job of having people understand, what are the things that we can do to have a very high quality, safe product.
Standards.
And for the most part, I believe that that's what we're doing. But we do know that in a gas station, apparently you can buy stuff that's labeled CBD, and it doesn't even have CBD in it. So,
right.
that's got to get cleaned up. And
Yeah.
the industry can help with that as well as
Mhm.
FDA and the
Mhm.
states. So we need to be helping with that.
So on that note, by the way, your website is ushempgrowers.org, correct?
No, it's US Hemp GA Growers Association. So it's ushempga.org. Yeah.
Excellent. And so, what are some of the main benefits if farmers are to join the association? And are you only catering to farmers, or are you also catering to other hemp business owners?
Well, the benefits are some of the things I talked about in terms of the latest research and education and resources and contacts for farmers, and of course the regulatory commentary that we can make for them, and keeping them up to date on the latest things that are happening. But they're not the only ones. They are the primary focus of the organization. So we're not going to become a hemp general association, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But we have membership available for what we call industry allied members, for academics and people that are studying hemp. We have industry affiliates that are signing up, actually, and who are they? They're people that want to service growers. So, equipment dealers, for instance, should be interested in us.
Sure.
People that do other supplies for the industry, maybe buildings and even research. We have some people interested in research who want to become allied with us, and we have a student membership. And one of our very first memberships was a student who met us at a trade show, which was very nice. It was fun, and we have an international hemp growers group also, or membership also, and I'm having calls from as far away as Ghana and Sweden, and people that would like to know if they can be members and can they learn about the plant from us, and so that's rewarding. But we are we are the US Hemp Growers. We're not trying to be international, but we are, welcoming to people that want to learn, and if we can help them, that's great. Helps the world.
That's fantastic. Well, I really appreciate your time. We're just coming to the end of the show. We have about a minute left. Did you have any final thoughts that you wanted to share with our audience?
Well, I hope they'll go to ushempga.org and look at the membership and look at some of the other filings. There are a lot of resources there about states and about the law and about NASDA, the National Association of State Directors of Agriculture, who are really knowledgeable about hemp. And I hope they'll consider joining. We would love to have members across the country. And a grower membership is $100, so it's really, we tried to keep it to be a very reasonable membership.
It's very affordable.
Yeah.
Well, I'm delighted to have you on the show. So thankful for you and the USHGA doing what you guys are doing. It's essential, and being in this for over 15 years, it's a dream come true to see the world finally getting seeds in the ground, especially the USA. So thank you so much for everything you're doing, and thanks for coming on the show. I look forward to having more conversations with you in the future.
Yeah, I'd enjoy that, Tyler. Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. This is your hemp entrepreneurial host, Tyler Hemp, with HempAware Radio. See you on the next Hempisode.